Russians stole Poppy Playtime. Yes, you did not misclick. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Luzal. Thanks for clicking. Oh, right. We're talking about this guy again.
No! I want to live! I want to live!
So if any of you aren't familiar with what my good friend Alex Makula, aka Alex the Great, refers to as the sperm wolf of the internet, Theft King has been a major figure in the FNAF community for quite some time, along with the fact he makes analog analysis videos. I actually like these, by the way. They're not that bad. And his down horrendous takes that just make people hate the guy. I actually was aware of Theft King's existence for quite some time, but I never understood why he was so hated because I never looked into it. But the day when he made his garbage take on Indigo Park, I looked into the situation and made some videos about it, and looked into his channel and learned about his famous mishaps of the past. So I decided to scroll down, and I found a video that definitely stuck out to me because of its absurdity. This video has a thumbnail that just outright reads, "Russians stole Poppy Playtime." And the moment I saw this title and the thumbnail combined, I already knew exactly what was going on. So I wanted to make a video on this topic for quite some time, but life got in the way, as life usually does, until it got to the point where this video released 2 months ago. So I gotta book it. I went to my Gmail and started typing a script. Let's begin the video. But before we get started, please consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy the video, and like it so that it can get reached out to more people. You alone can indeed make a difference. With that being said, let's commence the torture.
December 17th, 2023, the following video of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 was uploaded to YouTube, featuring a bizarre bootleg version of the Dog Day chase. Dog Day's model is hilarious, but what's really strange is that this video was uploaded over a month before Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 would release. And while it's really silly, it is incredibly close to what would actually happen in the game.
It's important to point out that while this video was posted on December of 2023, 6 days prior we were shown a trailer of the game where we see Dog Day changed up and chasing us. So, no, it's not a weird coincidence or anything. They literally just hauled ass as soon as that shit dropped. Next.
Then, more videos came out, and just like before, they somehow predicted basically exactly what would happen in Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, well before the game came out. Sure, it gets a lot of things hilariously wrong, but this also gets a lot shockingly right. For example, Poppy's dialogue is taken from the game, word for word.
What's happening down here is bigger than all of us.
What's happening down here is bigger than all of us.
So he continues to bring up some points of similarity and differences within this content farm channel and the actual game, and all the shady practices of these creators on top of that.
And some of them are really shameless. Poppy Playtime Chapter 4, official trailer. This is not official trailer. Not only did the people behind Russian Poppy Playtime somehow know what would happen in Chapter 3 prior to its release, but this is an actual game. The most popular fake Poppy content consists of animations made to look like a game, but these videos are actual screen recordings of gameplay. They really made all of this in the Unreal Engine. Hold on, what? These guys made a playable fake Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 that predicted the actual plot months in advance? How is that even possible? It wouldn't be until much later that I discovered what Russian Poppy Playtime really was.
Not gonna lie, definitely was caught off guard by this. Not only is there an actual game to play instead of just lame animations that trick children, but like Theft King states, these guys actually knew a lot of the plot beforehand. So far this seems okay, I guess, but my issue with this video is just how wrong the opening title was. He says that Russians are stealing Poppy Playtime. And the problem with this bit is that I don't think by using this, Theft King knows what that word means precisely. It would have made more sense if it said copied rather than stole. As these guys, it's not like these guys, just went into a museum and stole the game. They simply copied the game's IP and used it to make their own version. It's not stealing, it's mimicry. There is a difference. So it's blatantly clear that this is just clickbait and nothing more in terms of the thumbnail. And while I don't bash too much on clickbait, I definitely see why the opening statement is what it is. Then we cut to the bit where Dog Day converses with the player, and while the voice acting wasn't bad, this user clearly wasn't American.
As mentioned before, the game begins with a recreation of the Dog Day chase sequence from Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, and it's pretty incomprehensible.
Well, hey, friend, did you miss me? You maybe have some other company on their world, and they use it for hurting my friends before they're all friends. Make us live on, then they did that to us.
And then proceeds to die in the most pathetic way possible.
The video ends when the player reaches a large pit, and after using the purple hand to leap over it, Dog Day just like dies.
So, let me get you out. That's exactly.
I'm sorry. I saw this in advance. I saw this one little video in advance, and I wrote laugh on the script, and I still ended up laughing by mistake. Theft King then brings up why these videos could have predicted a lot of the final game, as trailers were used to piece together the final project.
Maybe they just used trailers and early preview content to piece together what would happen in the Dog Day scene. It's possible. However, the next video was even more suspicious. It's another low-budget recreation of Poppy Chapter 3, this time depicting what appears to be a version of the game's ending scene with Poppy in the elevator. As mentioned before, portions of the dialogue are taken directly from the real Chapter 3, only, you know, butchered and broken.
What's happening down here is bigger than all of us.
Certainly bigger than you.
What's happening down here is bigger than all of us.
I need you. So we can get revenge on those monsters who've tortured you. Who've tortured us.
I need you, so we can get revenge on those monsters who tortured you. Who tortured us.
So he then claims it's bizarre that the quotes match, but it's probably not that big of a deal since these quotes were used in the trailer. Why didn't the content farm just use the audio from said trailer? Not sure, but I am very certain it's not proof, as content farms often use AI-generated voices instead of paying voice actors, even though they have the money for it. Look, if you don't have the money for it, then that's fine, but with all the views these garbage videos of unoriginal slop gets, they should clearly have the money for it, so it doesn't give them the right to Okay, never mind. AI voices are a national treasure. Now, we're gonna skip around to the next large chunk of the video, because he just starts talking about the channel's fake Chapter 4, which, by the way, has nothing to do with the video topic, even if, though, we were to skip from around 10 minutes to 28 minutes in. The video topic is discussed less than the side topic, which means either it's more evidence for our clickbait allegations, or he's just trying to extend the runtime for more money. Sometimes for him, it's probably both. And I don't want to spend the extra hours editing useless junk. So... After explaining that she can no longer walk on her own, Poppy effortlessly walks over to Panda, because she's a lying bitch. So how did a bunch of random dudes from Russia or whatever get access to these kinds of Poppy leaks when no one else did? Who would have Poppy Chapter 3's transcript months in advance and use it to make a fake game with which they could produce fake videos to trick kids on YouTube and make money? Wait a minute. Russian. Poppy Playtime has a Russian translation, which means someone who speaks Russian had access to the game's transcript prior to its release. Could it be that the people responsible for producing the Russian translation of Poppy Playtime, or someone close to them, stole the story and used it to produce these fake gameplay videos? Sure, it eventually goes off the rails, but the early videos really do play out as if someone tried to reconstruct Poppy Playtime from the game's transcript alone. If you only had the game's dialogue, then yeah, I could see how you could get the general story beats correct, but misinterpret a few key things. Furthermore, the fact that these videos contain word-for-word dialogue taken from Chapter 3 despite coming out months prior, yeah, they had the game's transcript, and who else would have that early other than the translators? So here is basically the final point that Theft is trying to make in this situation, that the Russian translators had access to the transcript, and some people stole it to make a copy of the game, which is why a lot of these scenarios ended up happening even though there were some false moments. Despite that, the ending of the fake game was actually kinda close to the actual game's ending. So what's the big deal here? Well, the thing is, If these people had access to the transcript, why was so much of it just not used? They clearly aren't afraid to cut corners like the AI businesses, so why would they write new dialogue that wasn't in the game, and just use everything that's in said transcript? It's blatantly obvious. They never had access. Yes, Russian translators have access to the script in advance in certain games so that they could be released in multiple versions simultaneously, but I refuse to believe that these people shared this info within these content farm channels so they make videos spoiling the plot. It's clear that these individuals used what was in the trailer, and the transcript was not involved because of the sincere lack of evidence with this claim. This is just not a good video for many reasons. The thumbnail and title give off two completely different contexts, and these contexts have different levels of severity to them. It is not right to use the promotion to make people look worse than they are. Did these people make a game by using IP that isn't theirs? Yes. But did they have access to this transcript and copied it to make the game? No, it just doesn't make sense to me in a standpoint of common sense in general. I'm not a big fan of content farms because usually the content there is bad and is milked for money, but some of these people do it for the sake of earning a living. It's hard to make enough of a wage of live nowadays. And if this is how they choose to earn said living, then I have to respect it because it's practically their job at this point. Theft King makes a promotional intro and title of a subject that is only discussed for a few minutes compared to the 30 minutes of bullshit he rambled on about for no apparent reason. Theft King's allegations are false, over the top, and are heavily underutilized. This video is utter clickbait to the point where it's not entertaining, but rather confusing and a waste of time. Thank you all so much for watching. This video was hard to put together, but I'm glad I was able to finish it to share with you. If you're a fan of murder drones, I will have an entirely new project in the works coming to local audiences very soon. So stay followed for updates, as I hope to see you when this upcoming project finally introduces itself, as it's going to be the next big form of content I take on. And if it fails, then well, I'm back to making these. Anyways, take care now. Love y'all.